Okay, now we have finished blending the top section into the nape section. And you can see, you can already start to see her hair's not even dry, and you can see the highlights in there. They're going to be really nice. But we're going to cut the top section a little shorter, and we're going to use a razor technique to do this. So I'm going to show you a razor technique now. I'm going to go ahead and section her back off, and I'm going to do this typical sectioning pattern that we always use in the salon. Well, not always, but almost always. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get myself a guide. So I'm going to come right down the middle of her head here. And I want this hair on the top of her head to be a little more than 3 inches long. So I'll start back here. I'm going to measure that, and I don't know if you can see the numbers on my comb there, but I actually have a ruler on my comb, and I actually use the ruler on my comb a lot. It really helps me keep everything nice and even as I move around the head. Sometimes even when we're using our sections or our subsections to move as a guide, we can still get lost or just get a little longer or a little shorter in places, and this just ensures that you don't do that. So right there, that shows us just below the 3, but by the time I show you what we're doing here with our razor, we're going to be a little bit more than 3 inches, and you'll see why. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my razor in here, and I'm going to lay my thumb. You can see the guard on my razor there. So I'm laying my razor in here, and I'm laying my razor, I'm going to put my finger to the razor pretty firmly because I've got my finger against the guard. So it's going to look, at an angle, it's going to look like that. So it's not going to cut me because there's the side without the guard. This side has the guard on it. And my finger's going to be laying just like that. The hair's going to be between my thumb and the razor. Real easy little technique, and it leaves little crazy pieces in there. Everybody's liking that look that's a little frayed and wispy and airy, and that's what you're going to get. So I'm just going to continue to measure my guide. Okay, so now we've got our guide right down the middle there. And I'm going to start on this side over here. And you can tell that I'm a fan of vertical partings, obviously. And I'm going to use this guide now. I want the top to be a little over 3 inches long. So whenever you get to the point to where there's no hair to cut, this hair right here is right at 3 inches. So I won't cut this little section here. When the hair's too short to cut, you simply don't cut it. So then I'm going to move to the next section, or the next subsection. Vertical partings. Follow the guide that I made myself there. And her hair's getting a little dry, so it's getting a little harder to control. You can always stop and moisten the hair. And you'll see there we're right at 3 again, so we're going to stop right there. And get that hair out of the way. And I'm going to move all the way to the front portion of her hair. Keeping the partings vertical. And if you want, if you're someone who likes to use your previously cut hair as your guide as well, you are more than welcome to do that. So you can pick up this hair that you just cut and this hair that you just cut and your next section. And so you see your guide there, and there's your new hair to cut. I rely on my ruler so much that a lot of times I don't look at that previously cut hair. Okay, now we're moving into the back section. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this previously cut hair as our guide from the front. We can pick that up and see our little razor cut. And we're going to walk it back. This hair is coming 90 degrees off the head there. And you can, there's our guide, and there's our hair that we need to cut. Walking it down. There's our guide, and there's our hair that we're going to cut. Another vertical section. Pulling it back into the section that we're going to cut. And the reason we're pulling it back is because you want that section you're going to cut at 90 degrees. And that's another good reason to check yourself and make sure you're staying on course. So we're getting a little long there actually. So I'm going to take a little bit more off that section. And that's more like it. And you're just going to continue to walk this back, pulling the hair at 90 degrees. And using your previously cut guide as your guide. And making sure that you check yourself periodically with your little ruler on your comb there, your handy dandy ruler. And we'll continue to walk this all the way around. Okay, you can see our finished style here. You can see our color. The different shades of blonde in there with her base color that we did. You can see how the hair moves and how it flows.